Hello there, you're welcome back to Biology Lectures with Akerele Olademiji Philip. So move on to another set of topics on their topic 6 GCSE curriculum. So we look at sometimes it might not be for topic 6 for you if you're doing Excel, this for AQA, but it's relevant to both Excel and AQA. So we look at variation. So from the picture you can tell talks about differences really. Now one thing you want to remember is the fact that what makes us different is the nature, or let me say environment. So there are a number of things that makes us appear to become who we are. Basically the things we get from our parents and the things the environment poses on us. These are the major things that responsible for who we are. So we have the genetic factors really and environmental influence, which determines what we are or what we look like. So that's why we say nature or nurture. So nature is like what you have naturally, or nurture is basically like what the environment gives. All right, so that's something you want to remember. Now you can see different, these are people from different races, and they are quite different based on genetics and based on environment. All right, that's something we want to look at. Now I want you to pay attention to this. There's something called genetic variation or inherited variation, which means the things we receive from our parents, they are controlled by genes. Largely in genetics, only things that are controlled by genes can be transferred to the next generation. So the ones you need to know for the sake of GCSE are basically blood group, whether somebody's blood group A, blood group O, AB. These are things we get from our parents. It's transferable, it's controlled by genes. Eye color, whether it's going to be brown, gray, blue, as the case may be. Gender, how, like the other video I talked about on sex determination, it is the parent that determines the gender of a child, not like real decision from their mind, but the factor that determines is in the man, and that's how it happens. All right, then ability to roll tongue. Oh, sorry, I clicked that mistakenly. One sec. So ability to roll tongue is, like you've seen it here, is a gene that can be that is being transferred. I can't roll tongue because I don't have the gene, but my wife can. Possibly my children be able to roll their tongue. All right, now free and fixed earlobe. What does that mean? So some have free earlobe like this. Sorry, that didn't show very well. This is attached. Mine is like this. Always going to look fleshy, something like that. So these are various examples of traits that are controlled by gene and can be passed from parent to offspring. This is very, very important. On the other hand, we have traits that are controlled, not controlled totally, influenced by environment. Now, bear in mind, environment is basically all the things that happens to us after birth. So we used to think that environment is just the climate, the weather. No, it's everything, including climate, dietary habits, incidents that happens, accident, all of those things, cultural influence, and lifestyle choices. So based on the way we live our lives, so say for example, someone that eats a lot, does less exercise, lives a sedentary life, might come out to be obese, so to say. And the environment itself, you will know that some part of the world, the people there are darker in complexion because the temperature is very hot, and that's going to make your skin darker, so to say. So environment can influence a lot of things. Then incident, or say accident, people sometimes change their look. You see people have marks on their faces, walk in certain ways because of the accident that happened some times ago. All right. Then cultural influences. For example, this is something in Africa. It has reduced it now, but there was a time in Africa whereby you have to have a tribal mark. It is so-called because there are different sort of these to show that this person is from part of this set of this clan or this family. So that was done in those days. Some people still do it till now, but it has really reduced. So this person was not born this way. So the appearance now, the phenotypical appearance now is being controlled. It's affected by this cultural influence. Then also we have the likes of tattoo, like you're seeing it here. Yeah, so people, you can have tattoo on the skin like you have here, or people bore holes, all sort of things. So all lifestyle choices. So this basically falls under lifestyle choice. These are something that affect, that changes who we are. And now this is more like structure. How about behavior? So it's also possible that your language, your accent can change with time. So it's not unusual for someone to live in a place and use that talk their kind of way, use that kind of slang. So all of these are environmental variation. So which means that the environment influences someone to become different, or to become different, so to say, from what they were before. So that's basically the two type of variation we have. So this is showing you how people, different forms of activity people should be involved in, and what can happen with that, so to say. All right. So, but one thing I want you really to know is this: in reality, we are summation of these two, genetic and environmental variation. So there's no how you just control by one of these. Two of these must work together on everybody. Now, it can work for or against the person. For example, somebody might have inherited a gene for height, to be tall. But if the person does not feed well, so this is genetic variation. Nutrition is environmental. Like I told you, everything that happens to you after birth. So if you have the gene to be tall, but you don't feed well, the person might come out to be short, even though this is a challenge. I'm just using that as an example. So somebody can have a good gene, but the gene might not find expression if the environment does not allow it. And it's possible for somebody to, I know someone that's quite is fair in the family, but for some reason lived in a very hot part of the country, and the person wasn't as fair as the other siblings. So the person has the gene to be fair, but because of the environmental influence, in this case climatic condition, it reduced the expression of the fair complexion trait the person has gotten. So as a matter of it is very important for us to know that we are a combination of these two, genetic and environmental influence. Hope that made sense.